Hey, good morning, Destiny Church. We're still in the middle of our Life of Christ series. I hope your morning is off to a great start. Well, we are looking at a parable this morning, and it's the parable of the great banquet. Simply, and you've probably heard this from other communicators in the morning, simply a parable is just an example. In the Hebrew, it literally means an example. So it's just an example trying to show a point, and that's how Jesus teaches a lot in the Gospels. So we're looking at the great banquet, and what is happening here is there's this master, and he's throwing on this big banquet party, has so much food, sends out the invitations. Then he asks his servants to go get in touch with the invitations. We would kind of call this an RSVP. We'd be like, are you coming or not? He goes out to certain individuals that have been invited, and they say, to simple it down, they have different things going on. They say, I'm busy, I don't have time for that. And then, if I was the master, I'd be like, why are you not coming to this great party? What is wrong? So what he does is he tells the servants, hey, go out, get anybody. There's a lot of food. I want it eating. I want to invite these people in. So the servants go out and invite people in. And then they have this great banquet. Now that parable, it can be confusing when you just read it, but what is happening is the main idea that we want to portray to you guys this morning in the Life of Christ series is be prepared. When we're looking at the individuals that were invited to the party, what they simply thought and what they believed was, hey, I want to be coming on my terms, and I want to be coming when I want to. But when we look at the great banquet and we look at it in the eyes of the Father, this is his banquet. And what is his banquet? It's not only entering into heaven, his great banquet, but it's also every single day bringing the kingdom of God in our lives. And he's inviting you, he's inviting me, he's inviting your whole family to come into his banquet. And that is such an awesome experience that we can experience every day by saying, Lord, use me and invite me to your banquet. But the problem is, we are like the people that are invited, and we sometimes think that, hey, we're invited, that's good enough. But the invitation's not good enough if we don't show up to the banquet. So I challenge you this morning, show up to the banquet. And how can you do that in practical terms? You can simply wake up every morning and say, Lord, how can I be invited to your banquet? Because when you show up to God's banquet, he will use you in miraculous ways. He'll use you to encourage people in your workplace, in your school. He'll potentially use you to do miracles, to prophesy over people, speak words of encouragement when you show up to his banquet. So don't be like those people that were invited and said, I'm too busy. Because when we get too busy, we often miss out on that invitation and we do not show up to the banquet. Remember, this is not your banquet. This is not your time to say, I can show up when I want to. This is his banquet. So show up when God calls, and be prepared when God calls to enter to his banquet, because it'll be the most joyful and blessed life you will ever have when you show up at his banquet each and every day. God bless, guys.